chamber is having problems with passwords. So you go ahead and get started. I'll keep my eye out for her.
All right, so good evening, everyone. Welcome for joining us tonight. I'm logging in from my cell phone, so my view of who's on the screen is not the same. I'm still going to try to log into my computer and see if I can switch back. But yes, here we are. So Robert is the one joining us today. So if you want to introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about yourself and what you're doing with the fair. Thank you. Unmute yourself, please. We can hear you.
Thank you very much. Sorry about that. Good evening. Robert Ash here from Clearview Productions. Many of you probably know or recognize me. I do manage the majority of the fairs and festivals throughout the community. We're here tonight specifically for a new concept that I'm proposing bringing to the community. For the past, oh my goodness, 10 plus years, I've been managing 2 fundraiser street fairs on Queens Boulevard on the south side between Yellowstone and Restaurant Row as fundraisers for the precinct council. Has it been 10 years, Heidi? Just about? I think so.
If you say so, I'll take your word for it.
Seems like yesterday. Quite frankly, and I'll be the first one to admit it, we all love the different fairs, street fairs within the community, but at the same time, we all sometimes say, it's the same stuff. We are very fortunate when we have the Austin Street Fair, because that not only has outside vendors, traditional and both unique, it also showcases a lot of the local businesses we have on Austin Street and the surrounding areas. The fairs on Queens Boulevard, over the years, the participation, the number of vendors participating has decreased rapidly. There has been the addition of multiple fairs on Queens Boulevard, kind of taking the novelty away from it. I think at this point we're up to 5 fairs on Queens Boulevard, not all managed by me. So that brings me to my new idea. Rather than doing the same thing that we've been doing for years, and quite frankly, the revenue, the portion of revenue received by the community council has gone down year over year drastically. Quite frankly, more than cutting in half the community council's portion of the proceeds, because the vendor participation has decreased. So that brings me to the concept that I've had. I'm sure you may have seen on social media that there's all sorts of kind of food-driven night markets popping up throughout the city. Obviously, we do have the Queens Night Market in Cornell Flushing Meadow Park. There's one in Brooklyn now. There's Uptown. You name it. Every community kind of has a night market. I don't want to replicate those same models in our community, because then we're just copying other communities. My concept, if you guys, if you're interested, is to eventually do a series of themed night markets there on Queens Boulevard. So we're here tonight. The first of which we're here tonight for the application. I have to get my dates correct. Sorry. Oh my goodness. We're here tonight for the application that's been filed for Saturday, August 31st, which is Labor Day weekend. The law. I'm going to speak directly about this event and then what my long-term goal is. So this event, our theme is to do a Asian themed night market commencing, we're targeting approximately public hours from 2 to 10. We can adjust that with the needs of the community. That would be our target timing. Was set up from approximately noon to 2 and break down immediately at 10 o'clock, be off the street by 11. It would take the same format as a traditional street fair. Our goal is to have approximately 70 specialty Asian culinary and craft exhibitors. The name, if you're on Instagram, you can check it out. I'm partnering with this group on several other events as well. It's called Dragon Fest. A couple of things that pop into everyone's head is what happens that time of the year. It should be getting dark between 8:15 and 8:30. Will the vendors have lights, etc.? With the amount of street lights there on Queens Boulevard, complemented by lights, the vendors will have lights inside of their tent. We're also kind of playing with an idea of putting out some Asian style lanterns to kind of help with the theme of the event. We would like to possibly have some low amplified sound, not anything of substance, but just some ambient cultural music. That's kind of it in a nutshell for that one. Then the long term is if we do this as a pilot and we like the concept, is to then going into either later into 24, which doesn't really give us much time, or into 25, taking several of the fairs, the daytime fairs that are going on Queens Boulevard, and turn into this. I've been in talks with some people about possibly doing a Jewish / kosher event there on Queens Boulevard. Like I said, this one will be primarily Asian, Chinese. I'm in talks with another group called Filipino Fest to do the entire block Filipino. So go ahead, feedback, questions, concerns?
Robert, yes, I do have a question. You mentioned that this is almost a pilot. It's the first time that you're doing something that's it's a theme night markets. Is this, and you're holding it on August 31st. If this works out the way that you wanted it to work, is this something that you plan on doing on a monthly basis or a yearly basis?
So currently I manage 3 events on Queens Boulevard, 2 for the community council and 1 for the Forest Hills Jewish Center. I'm a third-party management company for those organizations. So in my conversations with Heidi said, let's
I said, let's try. Honestly, everybody, I said, let's try it once and let's keep let's do one street fair and try it rather than try it twice, because I wanted to see how the whole thing worked. And I figured that would be fair for the community to do a test. And if we liked it, then maybe next year, because we are getting so little revenue from our street fair these days, it's absurd. So if we liked it, then maybe next year we would go with it for our 2 events. But I didn't want to commit, honestly. I just figured, Rob came to me, I said, let's try one and keep the street fair. And we'll do that as a test this year and then see how we feel. So that the not doing it twice this year was me being conservative.
Okay. Can I ask why is the revenue down for the street fairs? What's changed that the revenue has gone down recently?
So quite frankly, we identified this early on when there was only 2 fairs on Queens Boulevard. The revenue was wonderful. When there's redundancy, there's to the community, there's just no novelty. So therefore, the community's not supporting the event. So therefore, the vendors aren't coming out. So it's yeah. So this is my let's jumpstart and recreate take our platform and recreate it.
And Gladys, honestly, I thought that prior to the pandemic, we were great. Then we didn't do it during the pandemic. And then when we came back, it just didn't have the same draw. I don't know why, but certainly the money hasn't come close to it. I think it's a quarter of what we used to get.
So I have a question. I am a big fan of the Queens Night Market in the summer. I've attended, several times. Is Robert still here?
Yes, I am.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't know. You disappeared on my screen. So I attended a lot of the night markets in the different boroughs, and I find that it's very it is successful, right? Because there's long lines. There's businesses that start out as food trucks that eventually become a brick and mortar store, right? Because they get so popular from the night markets. Are you going to be inviting local establishments, or it's just going to be anyone who wants to join in this night market can come, or is it just for Forest Hills?
It's an open invite. It is vetted because it will be themed. It is a vetted open invite in regards to the types of vendors we want to keep it unique to its brand.
So are you going to have preference? I mean, like for the Forest Hills and Rego Park establishments, if there's not enough tabling or room for it?
Yes.
Sorry, Beatrice, are you finished? I just wanted to ask a question for my. So I kind of agree with, and I'm saying kind of because I don't want to put words in Beatrice's mouth, but I do think that night markets. I understand the idea or the thought of like they're done, so we want to do something new and different. But I think there's part of the night market that actually works, right? And the brand of the night market is something that people are like, oh, there's a night market, I'm gonna go. I think that I think that I'm with you on like, let's not do what's already done. How do we make it innovative? I think the innovation comes from the fact that Queens is the most ethnically, racially, linguistically diverse county in the world, right? So I think that if you're doing it one time as a pilot, I don't know if it should be specifically themed to like one type of culture of food. I think there's an opportunity to have kind of like a cultural fair or festival of food that kind of represents the diversity of Queens, like trying that because in the night market type of way, because Brooklyn can't do that, right? It can to some degree, but Brooklyn doesn't have what Queens has, right? And Bronx doesn't have, but there's ethnicity and there's diversity in that sense, but like they're not the Queens. So I feel like the way to brand it without having to replicate the night market, but still kind of keep that night market vibe is by leaning on the cultural diversity. You know that you're going to get the most authentic, best type of whatever cuisine or whatever is happening here and all the other things that go with it. I think when I think about Queens and I think about where I live and I think about my ethnic makeup, right, and all the things that are in me, I'm like, it would be like, it's so representative of here. I would love to be able to get that here. So it's also great to specifically target, obviously, the Forest Hills, Rego Park businesses. But I think that this could also be an economic draw, particularly to our district, if we even allowed some of the other businesses from the outside of our specific district to come in. I think it could be also a pull economically for us. That's my 2 cents. I'm gonna stop talking before Heather cuts my mic.
No, I wouldn't do that, but I actually like the idea of something at night, because I think that it gives families a chance to do something earlier in the night with the little ones. It's at a time of the year where it's warm, but sometimes the nights cool off. So I think that's great, and I think the idea of kind of coming together at night is really great. You're right by the park, so if you wanted to go sit down, you could. It would be great if we could maybe work, excuse me, as I adjust myself, if we could maybe get parks to bring in some of those tables to maybe spread throughout the park for the night. Because I think that's a component of the night market that people do like, is being able to take their food and sit down. and there is limited. Um, I think there is a crew that sort of sets up there at night, in that center section of McDonald Park, but maybe if we could find a way to maybe get some of those tables brought in by Parks and then maybe picked up on Monday. I don't know if that's ever a possibility or not. Maybe encourage people in the promotion to sort of bring blankets maybe to put on the ground at McDonald Park, something like that, so that if they wanted to sit down, they could with their families. But I like the nighttime idea. I think I think the people in the community are gonna really respond. And I think it's just going to get people out. You know, it's a time of year where people are all coming home from being away in the summer. You know, kids are getting ready for school. I think it's great. And I honestly think that it's not going to cause any more of a problem with traffic than a daytime fair would. So I don't know that I have many concerns about that. Um, does anyone else have any concerns about that?
No. I did also have a random question. I know like the Queens Night Market, they have a like a $5 sort of limit, right? Meaning every vendor they'll just sell like a dish. It's like 5 and under. Are there any restrictions here, or anyone can just price what they want?
It'll be priced openly. We're so since this one is going to be will be the first one will be Chinese or Chinese Asian targeted. There's a partnership possibly we're working on with some semi-famous Asian chefs who really will be serving items that have to be over $10. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We explored that because that's a fun uniqueness that Queens Night Market does have.
When you say Asian, is that also Indian?
Southeast Asian. No, so no, not Indian.
Okay.
So my long-term goal would be to do a series of these, each one being reflective of a different we'll say part of Queens or different ethnicity.
Okay. All right. Does anyone else have any questions?
I just want to confirm.
Sorry.
Oh, sorry. I just wanted to confirm, since I've been to the Queens Night Market a few times, but when I went, I remember it being mainly food vendors. Are you going to have anything outside of that in regards to like CB6 wants to set up a table and let people know that there's something we do, and encourage people if it's something maybe interested in, to let them know that we will eventually have applications available? Or will you have people doing music, performances, anything like that? And I just want to also second and third, I know you mentioned this is an Asian focused event, but I really want to encourage you, just like everyone else has, is to do one that encompasses every ethnicity, and because it's something that when another committee I was on last year, that was mentioned a couple of times, is how Flores still kind of lacks that diversity a little bit. Mm-hmm. And I love your idea. I'm not saying it's like start with like Asian, then moving to like a Muslim, moving to another one, but just want to encourage that because I think more people will maybe come to those more specific ones down the road if you start with a more diverse, open.
I completely agree. Market. I completely agree. I personally think that starting that way, it kind of scares me. I feel like it allows for there to be unconscious or conscious biases, right? Like it's like, oh, the Asian one did really, really great, particularly because of our population and because we do have some of the best Southeast Asian restaurants in the city, right? Great. So then now you move to perhaps Indian cuisine and there's a judgment or a stigma, or Caribbean, or I just think that, again, just that draw of us being of our demo being what we are as far as the most diverse is a great opportunity to kind of draw that in. And then, you know, as you said, be able to have the segmented ones and really kind of make it an event series. And I think, again, the point is to be able to draw awareness, create, unity, but then also begin to have this be something that economically picks up. I know, Heidi, you want this to work, right? And so I think that that's kind of a great way to do it. And but again, it's your thing. But I just kind of, when I think about it, I'm like, I would really like to see it be something that is really informative and would make people who would be surprised that there's a awesome restaurant that represents, their food and their culture featured at this particular night market, whatever we want to call it, food festival, cultural festival, whatever. Be surprised and come, and then continue to come back to the smaller one if we decide to do a smaller one.
Yeah. To respond to that, one of the concepts I was throwing around in developing this was, instead of going down one specific road for each event, taking I'm also exploring this actually in other communities as well, as I branch into the night market activations and developing what I hope to be kind of my own brand in the night market world. Breaking each, let's just say 6 sections, 8 sections, or 7 continents, if you would, and having them identified by their individual flags. So it's almost an Epcot experience. But I want people to walk down the street and through the market, and it not just seem like another market, another night market of mixed food. I really want to both, obviously here in the community, and as I build into this more, I want to. I think it's crucial that we stand out in some way different than the other templates, and the affordability in making that image come through. When you talk about other things within the event too, other than food, yes, we plan on having artisanal vendors that match the theme of the night. Also, you guys mentioned tables. Currently our concept is to have about 40-50 foot stretch of like indoor outdoor carpeting, false turf if you would, with picnic tables and like kind of a family interactive area there with like giant Jenga, giant Connect 4, cornhole, just kind of create a kind of leisure picnic area. And then kind of in that same area, any community groups like we had spoke about could also come and table.
Robert, I wanted to say that I actually do like the idea of the theme night better than, and for the same reasons that you just pointed out, the fact that it could stand out and just be a unique experience, and everything is going to be from a certain area, and the decorations and everything. I think it would make it very unique compared to the other night markets. And I do like night markets, and I go to the ones and I like having different options. But I really find the idea of being themed very, very unique and exciting, and something that can bring people to Forest Hills just to experience the theme of the night. So.
Thank you.
And I do like the idea. I just want to say one thing. I know in the past when we had a prior discussion, and that we want to be able to have tables of different groups, including in this instance the community board, including obviously the precinct council is going to have a table. We want to be there and see this, but to be able to have an area that the community groups can be at and have the themed area, I think is important. So that's something that I really do want to have as part of this.
Nice.
Are there any other questions? Comments?
I have a comment, Heather.
Okay.
Being that Queens has always been receptive to diversity, the World's Fair was a beautiful, beautiful reflection of how much we embrace diversity. I really think that having a market that has diverse groups, diverse foods, diverse cultures come together, it actually will probably be a very more profitable event, because it will draw multicultures into it, experience different cultures. And I think that's pretty much the way we really need to proceed, because our Forest Hills is multicultural and multi-diverse.
Mhm. Thank you for that, Martha. So the committee, because we're not in person, we can't vote, like official vote, but you've got almost all your members. This is great, where you could take a straw poll to approve. So I'm going to make a motion to approve the street activity permit for the evening fair. For I believe this. So you got a second? Okay, Marcel second. Do you want to do a voice vote?
Yes.
I can't
All in-
just because it's the precinct council, so
I know Heidi's
I'm not
abstaining.
voting.
So all in favor, say aye.
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 Anyone dare be opposed?
There.
No, okay. Thank you all so much. So
Thank
the
you,
street
Barbara.
activity permit portion of the meeting. Gladys, we have tonight with us Susan King. Is it Susan or Suzanne?
Suzanne.
Suzanne, okay. Thank you guys for coming tonight, Clearview. We appreciate everything you do. You make our neighborhood a really fun place. So
Well, I
thank
want to
you.
thank everyone in
Thanks
your
much, guys. Just
Bye.
just one thing.
Oh,
So
sorry.
this does still need. This is kind of a new concept for the city as well. So your approval will be forwarded to the mayor's office, and then we'll hopefully know for sure from the mayor's office they'll be granting the permit in the next 2 or 3 weeks, and definitely keep you guys posted as to that, and as things kind of come together for this, and keep everyone in the loop.
That's great. And the board will be meeting a week from today. And we will we'll give them Gladys will give them, or Beatrice, whichever's one's giving the report, the recommendation, and then we'll get back to you. But I think this is going well.
Thanks much. Have a great night, guys. Thank you again.
Thank you. You too.
Take care.
Okay, now we're going to move on to Suzanne King from the Queens Chamber of Commerce.
Well, first of all, I want to thank, good evening, everyone. And I want to thank CB6 for the committee for inviting me to allow me the opportunity to talk about the Small Legal Desk Program. This is a funding that is provided by Grace Meng to help small business owners in Queens within her district. The funding provides accounting, attorneys, and human resources for small businesses with 5 hours of free service. So this will be ongoing. Her goal is to service at least 350 small business owners. So it will be ongoing until we meet that goal or exceed, or if we have budgets left over. So I anticipate the program to be ongoing through the end of January 2025. So any small business owner that are interested, they can sign up. And if you don't mind, can I put in the link, the
Yes.
form to sign up? I will put that in there. And I'm going to try and make the meeting on the 13th. I do have a conflict at the moment, but if I can rearrange the schedules, I will definitely be at the meeting. And in addition, for Queens Chambers, for small restaurant owners, we just rolled out a new program, which is called the Restaurant 311. And that helps all of the restaurant owners, visionary chefs, aspiring restaurant and trailblazers. If they want, they can get up to 10 hours of free consultation one-on-one to help grow their restaurant business, or if they're even thinking about starting one. In addition to that, we also have Open Online program that is free, 1 year of web service that we will perform, and creating logos and SEOs. So we have a lot of different programs coming from Queens Chambers. Anybody who's seeking help for this to maintain and grow their small businesses, we are here to support them. So that's what I have. Thank you.
Suzanne, can I ask you for the services of accounting, attorneys, and HRs? How small does the business have to be able to qualify?
Anything less than 50.
50
is what we
employees.
consider- Right, anything less than 50 is what we consider small businesses. And if any business owners, if they are not within that zip code where the business owner I'm sorry, I put in the wrong information. Yeah, I was trying to get into to the webinar.
She was trying so hard.
I was trying. So let me get that. But in addition to that, we have so the small business owners less than 50. And if they're not if their business is not within Grace Minks District, but their home residence is within Grace Minks District, they are eligible for the program.
Okay.
Okay, because there are startups that hasn't started yet, but they're thinking about starting. So we want to make sure that everyone gets, that opportunity. So I'm going to try and post that again. But in the meantime, if you have any questions, please feel free to ask me.
Do you have a flyer for this project?
Yes, I do.
Could
I
you
do have-
just email it to me and then I can get it to the office? Because then we can distribute it to our board. We typically post things in the front window, so we can post it there as well. And then we could even try to amplify it on social media too. So if you
That would
could
be
send that
awesome.
to me.
Yes, I would definitely forward that to you.
Okay, I see Heidi.
Hi, I just have what specifically types are you talking about helping them incorporate? Are you talking about
Yes,
if they have
so
a
if
dispute with somebody, a fine? What are we talking about?
Okay, the only two things we do not cover right now in legal is litigation. And the only
Okay.
thing we do not cover for accounting is filing their tax returns. But anything in between, review of the lease, if they want to start up, formation of a company, we can help them do that. If they want to purchase another company and they want us to review the lease, we will put them in touch with a legal, a lawyer. And they will have the option of picking the lawyer that they want to work with. We will give them two choices of the professional service provider, and they can in turn look at their background and choose the one that they want to work with. And same applies for the human resources and accounting as well. So anything they can think of that a business need, or if they see something that, I have to be honest with you, with the program that rolled out the end of October, a lot of business owners don't know what they need until they see it in writing. They're like, oh my God, I do need this. A lot of business that we know in Flushing do not know that they need insurance for their business. So it's something that they can just reach out to me, and if they can think of a question, we can probably help them out.
Okay, thank you.
And what's the difference between the services that you want to provide to the small businesses and the restaurant program where they have the 10 hours of free consultation? Can they participate in both, or they will have to choose one?
That is separate, that they can participate in both. The restaurant 311, the person that's in charge, her name is Laura. Okay, and she will, if any business owner that want to be in contact with the restaurant 311, then they can email me and I will put them in touch with Laura. And Laura is the best person for the restaurant. She had her own restaurant business before. So now she wants to help everybody as far as, making sure that they're in compliance when they open a restaurant and outdoor dining. Anything that's restaurant related, Laura will be your contact for restaurant 311. And I will send you the flyer as well for restaurant 311. And also with the Legal Desk program, we are also looking for accountants, human resources personnel, and lawyers. So if you know any professional service provider, we will use Grace Minks money to pay them for their service while they provide the 5-hour free service to the business owners.
So Suzanne, I'm the vice president of the Asian American Bar Association of New York, which is one of the biggest lawyer associations in the country. Actually, we have about 2,000 lawyers, and we actually have a pro bono program every month, twice a month. And there are lawyers who may be interested in doing this volunteer work. Is there like a specific location we go to Grace Minks' office, or the people come to the lawyers?
Great question. So currently, the lawyers are scattered from anywhere. As long as they fit the criteria and they have the experience and knowledge to serve as the business owners, it doesn't matter where they're located. Because most of the meeting, because the business owners are busy, So most of the meeting are either by webinar, phone call, or sometimes if they want, they can go and meet face to face. And currently I have office hours in in Flushing Chinese Business Association. And I also have office hours in Sandra Ong's office. And May 3rd will be office hour at Grace Ming's office. So
Okay. So,
yeah,
I will take
that would
I'll
be
take your
awesome.
contact because I believe the my organization, the Asian Bar, they have one in the Chinatown in Manhattan already, where they give free business. They give small businesses free advice and help from accountants and lawyers.
Right, and this will be a great opportunity for them to gain additional clients and at the same time be paid for it.
Correct. Thank you. I'll type I guess my contact in the chat too.
Great, thank you.
Any other questions, comments?
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Gladys, turn it back over to you.
Okay, so I guess if there are any more, we don't need to take any votes here or anything. So I think this is it for the evening. Thank you everyone for joining us, and I'm copying all the information on the chat. Is there a way that I can get it to put it as part of the report that we can put it?
Perfect. And if
Have-
you haven't already, the only thing I think that's outstanding would be if you haven't responded to the liquor licenses, and I think quite a few of you have, that Christine sent out. We just need that done before the meeting next week. So if y'all could kind of wrap that up this week, that'd be great if you haven't already done it so.
Can I just interrupt for one more thing? The liquor license, the restaurant 311, anybody that has issues applying for them, Lada will be the person that can also assist.
Oh, that's great.
Okay,
Thank you for that.
you're welcome.
All right. So do I have, I guess, a motion to adjourn? Gladys, what do you think?
Of course, yes.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All right.
Thank you,
Good night,
everyone.
all.
Bye.
See y'all. Stay
Night.
warm. Don't go outside.
Okay, bye-bye.